Welcome to day 13 of the course in Mastery. Today you're going to start down the path of becoming a mind reader, of sorts. And then you're going to hear a clip from our communication expert, Dr. Tony Alessandra. Here's Tom.
Thanks, Coral. How would you like to know when people really don't mean what they say? How would you like to know exactly what they mean when they say it? How would you like to read people's minds? Well, not really. But today we're going to begin to teach you the skills in understanding and reading people. We actually all do this already. It's just most of us do it unconsciously. Have you ever said to yourself, you know, there's just something about that guy. I don't know what it is, but I don't like him. Or maybe you've said, you know, she says she's telling the truth, and I can't prove it, but I think she's lying. Well, that is your unconscious ability, your intuition, reading unconscious signals. What I'd like to do is show you how to make those unconscious skills conscious. Some of the strategies I'm about to reveal to you are clouded in mystery because they were discovered by psychologists at military university laboratories. Also, psychologists today who understand these strategies tend to complicate them. What I'm about to reveal to you is not that difficult. It's really simple. The truth is, you already know how to do this. In fact, you already do it. What I'm going to show you today is how to observe yourself doing it and be more conscious when you do it. There are three things I'm going to talk to you about today: the eyes, the hips, and the skin. All three of them give unconscious signals when somebody is communicating with you. Remember, when someone's communicating, they communicate in many ways other than the words they use. There's body language, tonality, and many other things. Today I'm going to teach you about eyes, hips, and skin. Number one, the eyes. The eyes indicate visual, auditory, and kinesthetic access. What that means is people access inside of their brain visually, auditorily, or kinesthetically, touch or emotion. How does that help you to know that? Well, if somebody's accessing an emotional state, it's best for you to communicate in emotional words if you really want to connect with them and have them understand you. For example, somebody's in an emotional state and they're looking down. Down indicates emotion. Up indicates visual. Side to side indicates auditory. So if somebody's looking down, you'll want to say, hey, let's get a grasp on this. Let's put the pieces together and move on. They're probably going to more understand you if you say that than if you say, look, I see what you need. Let's look at a brighter picture and move on. You understand? Somebody who's in an emotional state is not going to catch visual words. This is incredibly important and sometimes the one thing that causes problems in any kind of communication. The eyes are critical to watch. Up is visual, down is emotional, and side to side is auditory. Number two are the hips. The hips indicate confidence. Most people think it's the shoulders, but it's actually the hips. The hips rolled forward cause the shoulders to move back and the chest to move out. The hips rolled in cause the shoulders to round and the chest to move in. Now, noticing somebody at their confidence level tells you a lot about them. If you ask somebody, for example, tell me about your sales experience, and their hips are rolled in and they're talking to you like this, that's not the person you want to hire for your sales team. If, however, you say to that same person, tell me about your mathematical skills, and they roll their hips up, forward, that's their personal power. That's their confidence coming forward. It's really important to watch how hips move when you're hiring, when you're learning, when you're listening, to see where people have their confidence. Even if they tell you that they're confident salespeople, but their hips are rolled forward, you'll know. Number three is the skin. The skin indicates boundaries. Emotional, physical, and even conversational boundaries. When they're crossed, people tend to itch or touch themselves. You might see people moving like this or scratching themselves, even scratching their nose or rubbing their mouth. That indicates that they're uncomfortable. Uncomfortable with what? Yeah, that's right, the conversation. Uncomfortable with what they're hearing. Uncomfortable with how they're feeling. It's very indicative of what's going on inside the mind. Now, we don't always notice this consciously, but unconsciously, we sometimes pick that up. Leaders, pay close attention. If you're talking to a manager and you're asking them why they haven't performed so well, or maybe you're getting into a subject that's personal, if you see them start to scratch or touch or itch, you know that you're cutting over some boundaries. What do you need to do? You need to step back, build some more rapport, make them more comfortable with you so that they're able to communicate. Remember, communication is everything in leadership. And if you can't communicate with your management, with your team, you're not going to get across the points that you want. These are just 3 of the ways that we communicate unconsciously and that you can observe other people communicating unconsciously. The eyes, the hips, and the skin. Today, I want you to pay attention to how people use those 3 in their communication, and also see if you can pay attention to how you use those 3 in your communication. Enjoy yourself today, read people, watch how you communicate, and listen to Coral's next great speaker. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Tom. In this next clip, Dr. Tony Alessandra is speaking based on a principle that we've covered before that he calls the Platinum Rule, a variation of the Golden Rule which simply states, treat others as they would like to be treated. Tom talked a bit about the external factors of reading someone, and Dr. Tony Alessandra goes on to talk about their verbal habits. Check out the clip.
The point is, people may not tell you how to treat them, but they will show you. Just listen to what they say. Listen to how they say it. When 2 people communicate face-to-face, they use 3 channels of communication. The verbal channel, which are the words. The vocal channel, the inflection, the intonation, the volume, the speed, the pitch, the resonance. The visual channel, the body language, facial expressions. Now, of course, on the telephone, we don't get all 3, do we? We don't. We get 2. We get the verbal and the vocal. How important is the vocal compared to the verbal? Do you realize the way you say a word can actually mean something different to somebody? The same word, the way you say it, can have a whole different meaning. Take a simple word like OH, which in and of itself has no meaning whatsoever. Only when you say it does it take on meaning. Now watch how different that meaning can be based on the way you say it. I'm going to throw out a feeling. As I say this feeling, I would like you all together to say the word OH to convey this feeling. Are you with me? All right. I understand. All right, one more time, and I'm going to throw out a few of them to you. Now watch. I understand. I don't understand. Same word, different inflection, opposite meaning. How about this? Surprise. Disappointment.